get on Thacker and Tron Ares follows Tron, an AI program that leaves the digital world and embark on a mission in the real world. Tron is a very infamous franchise, and not for the best of reasons. The original Tron from 1982, made by Disney, at the time, Disney wanted Tron to be their equivalent to Star Wars, which is now, of course, very ironic. Tron was one of the first ones to extensively use CGI, which I'm sure were very impressive for 1982, but just don't hold up well today. Tron actually did pretty decently, making $50 million on a budget of $17 million. But despite it being decently successful, Disney didn't think it was successful enough, and I also think it's a pretty low okay. It was actually kind of painful to sit through and I just wanted to end, despite only being an hour 30. It is an interesting concept, it's not the effects give it a novelty, but its characters are bland and so is its story. And then 28 years later in 2010, Tron Legacy was released. And unlike its predecessor, it has great effects that still hold up greatly. And also like its predecessor, it did do fairly well, making $49.9 million on budget of $470 million, which for a sequel to a cult classic is pretty good. But like last time, it wasn't enough for Disney, probably because the much more successful films released that same year. And once again, like its predecessor, it's just okay. A high okay than the original, but still not very good, with more blank characters and a plot that could have been interesting, but wasn't executing anything special. So honestly, the two Tron movies are like the first Avatar. Great effects, interesting concept, with blank characters and stories. But then we got the second Avatar movie, which can have great effects and interesting concept, with far more engaging characters and story. And so as Tron Ares get closer to its release, I was hoping this would be the Way of Water equivalent for the Tron franchise. But then I saw this trailer with Joachim Roning, a name you probably don't recognize at first, even I didn't. But then I found out this guy directed another movie that's no stranger to this channel, a film I've said multiple times might be my least favorite film of all time. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. It was that moment when I lost any hope I had for this film. Since I haven't seen Tron Ares, it's a medium okay. Just like its two predecessors, I want to like these films. They have a good concept and are visually stunning, but they're just not good. I guess I like it more than the original Tron, but not as much as Legacy. But that's not saying much. It once again has an interesting concept with bland characters and story. This is the third attempt at Tron, and it doesn't work. Stop trying. The human characters in the programs are honestly probably the blandest characters in this entire franchise. I didn't know you get more bland characters in the original Tron, but here we are. Also, how is Jared Leto still getting casted and stuff? Everyone thinks he's a cult leader and a sex addict. Why out of all companies would Disney hire this man with this reputation to try and save this franchise? The concept of taking the computer world outside of Tron into the real world, I think that's more interesting on paper than it does in actual execution. I feel there's maybe something that could be done there, but it's not in this movie. In a Tron movie, I kind of want to stay in the computer world. But to its credit, there is more of a balance in the computer world than the real world than I was expecting. It does do interesting and different things in this world we haven't seen before, that I wish were more than just interesting and were actually good. The story strangely tries to connect back to the original Tron, even though I've seen firsthand, there are a large amount of people that don't know that that movie exists, and think that Tron Legacy is the original Tron. It really tries to tie in the nostalgia of the original Tron, and yeah, I'm sure there are people that will be effective on, but not as many as you think. I'm also surprised they didn't try to rely on nostalgia from Tron Legacy, as that is 15 years old. But the effects are great, about on par with Legacy, and the film's original soundtrack. That's something the Tron movies have always had. The original Tron with Journey, which is really good and I like it. Tron Legacy with Daft Punk. I don't really like modern music, but I don't dislike it, not bad. And Tron Ares with 9 Inch Nails, which I think is fine. Not anything really noteworthy, but isn't particularly bad. But I do like that it keeps Tron's techno sound to it. Overall, Tron Ares is just okay, and could use Tron's long legacy of just being okay. Unless you just want some really good visuals, I don't recommend it. But now we're getting to spoilers. Starting off with going into further detail about something I mentioned earlier, which was the nostalgia of the original Tron. Of course, we have the return of the character Flynn, which does just feel like having a legacy character just to have a legacy character. But I guess isn't character enough for a character I don't really care that much about. And Ares goes into the computer world from the original Tron, where we see the original Tron effects recreated, which from a technical standpoint is unique, but it's just nostalgia pinching. And at the end we have a tease for a 4th Tron, which I'm sure is definitely going to happen. It's not too great at the box office, it'll probably make a small profit if even that. But anyways, We see Ares saying he's going to try and find Seven Core from Legacy. Gotta say, I don't care. I don't care about those characters. Nobody does. I am slightly joking. I know Tron has a very devoted fan base. I'm not sure why, but it does. And the villain played by Evan Peters is teased in the post-credits scene to be the villain in the next one. But I am fully not expecting to get a fourth Tron movie. At least not anytime soon. Because this franchise does have a pattern of having sequels close to or over 20 years later, so who really knows? So yeah, I think this might be the nail in the coffin for the Tron franchise. And I hate to say it, but I'm not sad about that. I don't like this franchise. These movies are okay at best. But with that said, if there is a Tron 4 somewhere down the line, I will watch it. I don't like these movies, but I really want to like them. So in 20 years from now, Disney tries to make another Tron, I'll be there. I won't be excited for it, but I'll be willing to see it. Also, if you enjoy this video, you should like subscribing. Bye guys for now, bye, it's Thacker.